Hello YouTubers. One of the reasons I quit doing a lot of YouTube videos was because I'm kind of picky with quality, and I don't do any fancy editing or anything like that, so they weren't turning out as good as what I felt they should. So hopefully with doing this video we'll be able to make this pretty decent quality. There's a mess around here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this Phillips up and running. So still kind of getting used to the tripod. I haven't used it in so long. Drop that down a bit. So there's the EL 3740 amps. Let's see. Can't really zoom in on that. It's 3740 though. I don't know where they came up with that number from. And let me go ahead and lace up the transport real quick. Okay, so go ahead, turn that on, turn on the transport, 15 IPS. Not sure if that's on or off. Can't get that. There we go. Light up there is burned out. So okay, so I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod. Still getting used to this. It's been a while since I've done a video. So go ahead, set that in the middle. Okay. Does a pretty good job with rewinding, but I'll slow it down a bit there. That way that spool doesn't want to jump off, because we're not using hubs with it. Yeah, then it slows to crawl for some reason, so I think it needs to be recapped. Some of the caps don't look the greatest anyway, so. Now the issue is with this transport, really doesn't like to fast forward, and we're running it on 60 Hz compared to 50 Hz, so I still have to build a power supply for this and several other machines, because the sound is going to be 20% faster or 10% faster, I'm not sure which. Buttons on this are pretty weird. Basically this transport is definitely for mono or 2-track. That's it. I don't believe they ever made a 4-track version of this. If they did, I don't know if they modified it or what. But this is the record selector. You've got track 1 and 2, or track 2. As you can see, I guess that U shape is the head, and it's showing pointing out. Same with this. It's the head and it's showing signal going into it. It goes into play pretty easily. And got my mixing console hooked up to it. It's meter selector right there. So I'm not sure really if that's input, output, and then just output or something. It's input on the left side right there. I'm getting sound out of this channel. Okay, yeah, I was getting sound. Hold on.
Wasted days and wasted nights. I got left for you behind. Oh, you don't belong to me.
Okay, yeah.
Your heart belongs to someone.
Both channels are working now.
Why should I keep loving you?
But that meter's not working for some odd reason.
You're not true.
That one just doesn't work.
And why should I call your name when you walk away? Or maybe
Okay.
don't you
That power button slightly stuck for a top one. Okay, go ahead, we'll turn off my console. Stop. There's just no absolutely no way to fast forward that tape. So we'll just leave on play. Now I know this machine was used by the BBC for the fact that this head cover was actually ground down, probably with some type of angle grinder. I guess the reason was they could mark the tape, I guess, with that closed, which I really don't understand why they just didn't operate it with it open, which would have made more sense, instead of cutting up a head cover. As you can see, they have some markings still there, where they actually thought about trimming it some more. Now, we'll put it in rewind mode. And what this does is it brings the tape close to the heads, but not all the way up to the pinch roller. And that's a different, it's got what, one setting, so that's fast forward, slow forward, I'm guessing kind of really slow forward, and then it's got fast rewind, slow rewind, and then really slow rewind. So I'm not really sure if that's how it's meant to be with that button or not, or if they put a bigger position switch than what they meant. Now the head cover is easy, or the head block is easy to remove with the two screws, which you can fit coins in or something, or a big screwdriver. Just go ahead, screw those, unscrew those, and then you just pull up the head cover, or the head block I should say. Buttons on this machine aren't very clunky. You don't have to push that far into them. It's a very assisted transport. It's not like my old Philips BL3505s, which you have to have some finger strength to operate. I'm not sure if that's original or if they modified it, but I believe it's supposed to stop when the tape runs out, so I still have to look into that. This machine does take platters. That little thing's for turnbuckles. I'm not really sure why you change it. Maybe it's something to do with tension or something, I'm not quite sure. Now, the really weird thing that I get is even when that machine's off, or that machine's on, but the the amplifiers are off, okay, and the transport is on. When I turn off that transport, for some reason the meters peak, and I have no power here, which means it tripped my RCD, or GFI is what we call it in the US. So I'm guessing that's a fault someplace with a bad capacitor or something. But every time I turn that off, even if these have no power, these still peak. So I'm not sure if there's some voltage coming back through the amplifier cable or something like that. But I probably won't run these too much longer until I get these restored. They definitely need a good restoration, and things like the switch here, it's stuck. The really weird thing about these Philips amplifiers are basically you just remove the four knobs, and if you unscrew this so that you're removing it from the cabinet, the faceplate actually will come off. And the really weird design, it's just basically one big sheet of, or one big piece of metal that comes up, goes across, and comes back, and the face panel is just very thin plate, so that all of the electronics are mounted this way on like a type of phenolic board. But they definitely know it needs some recapping, as I can see things like the caps in here have small holes in them, or small cracks. So it definitely could use a good recapping, but the machine is probably from the early 50s. It's just as old as a Ampex 350 or 351. Very old machine. But I think it's built quite a lot, quite a bit better. It's really, I think it's a lot better actually than an old Ampex, just because it's got a lot more features in it. So you can see there's your cabling. You've got your master connector, which supplies the record head and the erase head, and then these are replay connectors. Now at first I got kind of confused, but these are actually the outputs. I thought these were the inputs. That is actually an output tuchel. At first I thought that was the input, because it would make more sense that signals coming out of these 3 pins rather than going in. There we go. So I had to make up new cables for this, as well as I replaced the power cables. Originally it was one big Y cable, and you had one cable going to this and one cable going to the electronics, and the cable went in one of those big kettle plugs and out to the other one, so it didn't make much sense. So I just put 3 new cables and 3 new plugs, so anything can be ran separately. This machine, you put in 7.5 or 15 IPS via the power control, so I'm relatively happy with it. I would be more happy if it actually ran 100%, but obviously a machine this old needs some restoration. There were some problems at some point with shipping or something, because the cabinet got cracked, but I'm not too worried about that. It's an old case, and I'd rather just build a new case for it, so when I take it around and paint it around, the cabinet takes the abuse. And I would like to cover these up as well when I take them out in the field for recording. It's definitely probably my favorite machine next to the L3505. Still restoring those, but I had an issue with PayPal, and my PayPal account has negative a large sum of money, as I got scammed out of $600. So I'm still dealing with trying to recover my money on that. As you can see, you've got a place to keep platters or one reel. I need to get a new piece of metal for that. Now, be careful not to break those tabs off. I've actually got huge storage space in the lid for 7.5-inch reels. 7-inch reels, I should say, not 7.5. So yeah, all in all, it's definitely a very interesting machine, and I'm looking forward to using it some more. So thanks for watching. I hope this video turned out a lot better than my other videos, as I'm trying to improve quality here. So thanks for watching.